Good morning, Infinity. Great to have you all with us today. I'm Jeff Obafemi Carr, Chief Spiritual Officer here at Infinity Fellowship. It is Second Sunday. It is Nurturing Sunday. That means that we are here and we are ready to launch you into the next level of the greatest day of your life. Are you ready for it? Hello in the Infinite Life stream. Thank you for joining us wherever you are in the world. Say hello, greet one another, and let's prepare for an awesome Infinity Fellowship. We've got a wonderful, wonderful service planned for you. We want to encourage you, for those of you who are out there doing your standing ovations, go ahead and get them in order so that we can put that up for you as a link and you can share your standing ovations. This is Nurturing Sunday. We got a great message coming for you as well. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, and let's get this energy up in this audience today, in this congregation today, in this spiritual community today. It is time for us to keep moving forward as we get ready to cross the finish line. December, y'all. 2024, the year of divine reciprocity. Let's get it going. Share the link with your friends. Tag somebody. Let's have an awesome Infinity Fellowship. Good morning, Infinity. I want to welcome you all out to the Infinity Fellowship. Welcome you all out like y'all got up out of your houses and traveled somewhere. How about that? What about that energy? And how about that word? The reality is I want to welcome you in to Infinity Fellowship, y'all. It's good to see you in the chat box today saying hello. I am Jeff Obafemi Carr, also known as Rev Jeff. And you have squarely landed in the core of context of authenticity. We are here, the core of consciousness and the apex of authenticity. It is Sunday morning, y'all, and I want to thank y'all for tuning in with us. We gave you a little bit of time so you could tell your friends that Infinity is on and we can have this conversation around interspirituality and having a Sunday service where everybody is welcome and we open the way together. So as we open the way together, I invite you to gather your family. Go ahead and just call them in the other room and say, hey, it's time for us to start today. We got this little 90-minute window where we can sit down and give thanks, give praise, and give adoration to the spirit of our beginning and our consciousness, that core energy that we call the God of your acceptance and understanding. If we could put 90 minutes into that energy of gratitude and thanksgiving and thankfulness for every single waking second that we have been given in life. Oh man, what a powerful meditation. So I invite you as we begin to open the way to gather yourself. If you're in a place where you can stand still or be in a seated position, I invite you to join me for just a really brief meditation. Allow your eyes to gently close from top to bottom. As the resonance of the tones of the singing bowl continue to move through our cells and our body, continue to vibrate within us. And in this moment of blessed assurance, in this moment of stillness, in this moment of allowance of the life force that animates us all, in allowing it to inhale and exhale, in allowing this essence, this ashe, this breath, in allowing it, in paying attention to it, we bring calm to the room. We bring stillness to the room. We bring peace to the room. On the inhale and the exhale. allowing all sounds that may come to simply become a part of the musicality of our vibration and our meditation. Inhaling and exhaling deeply. Releasing the need to think about tomorrow and instead focusing on the goodness of the right now. Inhaling and exhaling. Clearing our minds of worry. Clearing our minds of shame. Clearing our minds of even celebration. Just allowing ourselves to sit in this moment. Breathing in those things that do serve us. And exhaling and releasing those things that no longer serve us or mean us good. From this place of stillness, we are now allowing ourselves to be steeped in gratitude. We are allowing through the breath ourselves to be steeped in thanksgiving. And as we approach this moment of opening of the way, we now present ourselves a living sacrifice. We release the negative. And we embrace who we truly are, divine image and likeness of the God of our acceptance and understanding. From this moment of clarity and thanksgiving, we invite all eyes that are not closed to be closed at this time, all heads to be bowed, and all hearts to be open, as we now focus this energy toward the God within, this divine light that shines inside of us. And as we focus our energy inward, we focus it outward. We speak directly to divine source. All wise and all knowing and all loving God, we give thanks to you today. We give thanks to those of you, the people who are manifestations of you, who are little bitty tiny thimbles of the divine essence of you, getting to know one another, and by so doing, getting to know you. We give thanks to those who call you by various names: God, Creator, Divine Source, Universe, Uni, Allah, Jehovah, Yezu, Yeshua, Jesus. Whatever the name may be, we dissolve the names in the commonality of your divinity. And we give thanks in this moment for bringing us to today's Infinity Fellowship. And we thank you on behalf of those who are all over the world in this infinite life stream that have found their way to this divine place, to be able to celebrate in gratitude, being able to get up this morning. We recognize that many people did not give the opportunity to rise today in the body, and that their rising took place on a spiritual plane while they left behind this earth suit. And so as they have left behind this earthly shell, those of us who are on this side of life speak in affirmation of the goodness that we experience right now consciously. Oh, how good it is when brethren and sisters dwell together in unity. And so we thank you for this unity that we feel today. We thank you for this voice called the Infinity Fellowship that is now traveling around the world on the internet. And we speak that someone has been affected today in a powerful way. Someone has been arrested in a powerful way to allow themselves to just click on a link and find a place that they call home. For this, we are grateful. We are grateful for this gift that you have given us of technology and for our crew today and the time and effort that they put in and that they put in because of their commitment to grow this community and be a part of something special, a beacon of light, of love, and of hope, and of power, and of growth, and of expansion, and of surrounding with love. And so we speak that in this service today, in this divine moment today, whatever platform it may appear in and on, even if it ends up being a replay, that someone is touched and reminded that you're always here, that you're always present, that you're never absent, that all we have to do is sit in the stillness and open the way, and you will show the way. And so we speak that someone will be uplifted. We speak that someone will be comforted. We speak that someone will be inspired. We speak that someone will be revved up, because we are now 12 months into the year of divine reciprocity. I am that I am. You are what we are. We give, we get. We got it good. And as we celebrate that, as we prepare ourselves to enter into the next year, as we used to say, the elders used to say, good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. We are going forward in confidence, knowing that something special is here for those whose hearts are open. And so we proclaim all of the good from this moment forward, that as we launch into this service and as we close it at the appointed time when Spirit says to do so, that in this tiny window, in this dash, in this start and end moment, that we will spend it in gratitude, celebration, support, and love for those who have gathered. It is for these things and for others that we simply breathe in together and release, proclaiming healing, proclaiming alignment, proclaiming transformation. We speak these things and we seal this pouring of energy into realignment for manifestation in the name of all that is holy, held close by faith, traditions, and paths, and empowered to intercede with us in agreement. So it is spoken, so it is affirmed, so it is received, and so it is. Let us say together, Amen, Amen, Hotep, Shalom, Namaste, Ashe. It is done. Let us prepare ourselves for our pouring of libations. As we are pouring our libations today, I want to greet you in the name of the known and unknown names of our ancestors, upon whose shoulders we humbly stand, recognizing that we confidently stand on those who are made like us in the very image and likeness of all that is, was, and ever shall be. Therefore, we've got an awesome responsibility. Our responsibility is to infect, effect, and affect the change and growth that we all want to see in this thing we call reality. So, for those who have gone before, we ask that we recognize that energy in the place today, that you invite your folks into this vibration that we call Infinity Fellowship. And how do we do that? Well, we type our names into the chat. Families like to gather in this moment and say, you know what? I want our children to remember those who have gone before. So this is the moment where we get to call as a family. We get to call as a couple. We get to call in our partnership. We get to call as individuals, standing in our kitchen, having our coffee, sitting on our couch, riding in our car, wherever we may be. We get to, as a symphony of voices from around the world, call on these ancestors and remember them. For truly, Death only occurs when we forget our folks. And so in this place, we want to pour today. We want to recognize those people that you see in the chat box, those people you starting to see in your mind. We want to send a local shout out to the Boyd family in the transition of Brother William Allen Boyd, Ashe. Brother William Allen Boyd was very much a mentor through the years for people in the martial arts and people in the business community, and many people who are listening here may have come up in the child care there on Buchanan Street. And as we all navigate what life looks like going forward, we always must remember that even when people were with us for a small stage of life, we acknowledge the gifts that have been given to us as we send condolences, of course, to Agnes and the entire Boyd family, all of the young people out there, and everyone else who is navigating. Ashe. As we prepare, let us go to the altar and pour the libation prayer. Cool water, Omitutu in the Yoruba tradition. Freshen and consecrate our spirits. Ashe. Freshen this house for spiritual work. Ashe. Freshen our collective ancestors all together. Ashe. We give praise to Almighty Mother, Father God, divine source and all creation. Ashe. Grant to us peace and prosperity. Ashe. And we pour to the various directions that give us power and center us. We pour to the energy of the north, where we are reminded to be a yes today. Be a yes in everything that you decide to do. Ashe. We pour to the energies of the south in the recognition of who we are and whose we are. No matter what the name it is that we call the divine essence, we know that we are connected and we are from that source. Ashe. We pour to the energy of the east and the rising sun. I stepped outside today all bundled up. I thought it was freezing cold like it was yesterday. And it was still kind of a little bit warmer because the sun was out. And I said, oh my goodness, a reminder that no matter how dark it is, no matter how many clouds there are, the sun is always in the sky shining. Ashe. To the energy of the west. The energy of the west is knowing that when the sun goes down, we still got the light of the moon and the stars. There's always a light in the darkness. Sometimes you're in a low place, and it's just a friend who will show up at the right time to remind you of how awesome you are. Sometimes you're in a place of self-doubt, and you'll come across something in your journal that says, hey, this is a time that you overcame. Sometimes you're in a dark place and you're not sure you can get to the next moment, and at that time, there will be a reminder. You might have clicked on today and said, you know what? I'm not in a good place, but I'm just going to click on here so that I don't have to sit in the silence, and this was the reminder that everything is working in your favor. Ashe, there is always light in the darkness. To the ground below us, to that fifth direction, recognizing that when we put down roots, when we dig in to who we are and whose we are, when we dig into whatever our culture is and our family story is, when we dig in there, we put down roots, and roots keep us going when the storms are blowing. And when the storms are blowing, we may bend, but it is always better to bend than it is to break. Ashe. To this sky above us, where we get to see this blank landscape of our dreams, and it's completely empty until we get that aha moment. But guess what? That aha moment is the precursor to us getting that to-do moment, where we become master manifestors, little C's to the big C creator. Ashe. And finally, to the seventh direction, that is Grand Central Station for everything. Grand Central Station. That means where it all comes together, and where it all comes together is right here in the center, in your heart. The energy of the ancients calling of Ma'at. May your heart always be as light as the feather. Ashe. At this time, I invite you at home to either call aloud the names of those ancestors that you want to recognize in the space, or you can chat a name or two in the chat box and drop it in there just to say, hey, here are my folks. Here's my Mitakwiasan in the Lakota tradition, all my relations. Let's drop them in at this time as we pour these next few pours of water. to all the names that are coming in at this moment. And in final recognition of respect for the children in the womb, in the world, and yet unborn, we say together around the world, Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. It is done, and so it is.
Good morning, Infinity! Yes, so it's time for the statement of infinitude. And here at Infinity Fellowship, we don't tell you what to call or how to define the God of your own personal acceptance and understanding. That is an intensely personal and beautiful relationship. Here at Infinity, we affirm your unique connection. And whatever you decide to call that source energy, you're going to hear us say God interchangeably with the universe, divine source. What you see around you is the proof, honey, that it was showing off when you were created after the same image and likeness. So now, guess what? It's time to speak aloud the core agreements that bring us together at infinity. And we call that infinitude. Infinitude is defined in the dictionary as a state or quality of being infinite or having no limit. We have a unique mix of faith backgrounds at Infinity, but what centers us is the spirituality we all share in common. For us, infinitude is defined as infinity with an attitude. And that attitude is gratitude. And the snap you just heard is our spiritual practice that gives us life and meaning. Snap is on your screen, and we recommend you take some time to meditate on both it and our statement of infinitude by visiting our website at myif.org. So the S in SNAP is for a spirituality that transcends religion and connects you to the God of your own understanding. The N in SNAP is for nurturing of ourselves and others, mind, body, and spirit. The A is for action, because we take action on our callings and walk in our divine purpose every day. And finally, y'all, the P is for the proof that our spiritual practices manifest fruit in our lives through the building and maintaining of healthy and prosperous families. We are so grateful that you all are here as unique manifestations of our Creator, the loving, living spirit of our commonality, the divine source of all creation, perceived by many names, yet known by only one energy. So I invite you to stand at home and join us in the affirmation of our statement of infinitude. We agree that we are beings of pure, eternal spirit, birthed from the creative potential of the universe, with all the powers of the Creator inherent within us. We embrace the innate goodness of humankind and an abundant creation that provides for us through the seeds that we plant in our everyday lives. We acknowledge that who we are is housed in a temporary biological organism, and as such, it is our responsibility to take care of it, because it will only last for a precious window of time. As we nurture ourselves spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically, we commit to provide like acts of nurturing for our fellow brothers and sisters of the world we live in, embracing all regardless of religious faith, skin color, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, or socioeconomic background. All are truly welcome at Infinity. We agree and accept that various religions exist as a unique opportunity for humanity to get to know one another through meaningful conversations that seek to explore the core concepts we share in common. It is the application of ancient wisdom, scientific discovery, and spiritual practices, both physical and metaphysical, that will lead us closer together as a human family. We commit to exist now and ever as a beloved community. Let it be so according to the many ancient terms of affirmation. Amen. Amin. Hotep. Shalom. Namaste. Ashe.
Hey, ashe, ashe, ashe. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Time for us to say good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
Good morning there, Lady Kenitha.
Good morning.
It's good to see you today.
See you as well.
Looking mighty sharp.
Oh, thank you.
Looking like you're ready to go out and just kind of light up the world and do all of that kind of stuff.
Right, a little spiffy yourself.
Well, I got to step out, sometimes, I'm
Okay,
grateful.
okay.
I'm grateful I might every now and then have a vest or two
you
in
look
the,
at
that's the way you go there. Wherever
How'd
you
you
put
know
the,
what I was gonna
had to- I don't know. I thought I left the
be
house
spiffy.
first, trying to bite my style. But we're in a place, y'all, where we get an opportunity to say welcome, and we get to generate this in the chat. So let's get excited with a place of gratitude today. Let's get ready to practice that gratitude, because I tell you one thing that I've learned, Lady Kenitha, is that when you're grateful, it is infectious. And it spreads all around. So we got people today that we are grateful for. We got on the Infinite live stream holding it down, Sister Alicia, and she is rocking and rolling. In addition to the billions of other amazing things that she is doing right now in the world, you will not believe it. We got Brother Tony, who is on our tech today. He is holding it down so we can be seen, heard in the right way. We got Sister Kai holding it down on tech as well with audio, and she's making sure that her infectious energy is beaming out all through the internet. So hard to contain all that energy back there that she's putting out. I love it. And so we've got plenty of people that we're grateful for. And as we approach this holiday season, there are a lot. But I want to put up a slide. I want to welcome you, especially first timers, who I'm going to welcome in a moment. We're going to put up a slide that basically tells you where we're at. And the slide says, tell us what you're grateful for. The slide says, hey, my name is, and good morning, I am grateful for. That's all we need to know. If you're in the chat box, just say, my name is, I am grateful for. Come on and let's play this game. We'll put some of those names up on the screen as we are singing, but we want to start singing by first saying good morning to you. It's a wonderful song that we love to sing, and it's so beautiful that we know you'll love to sing it along with us. Yes, crank it on up. We say it. Drop those names. Drop something that you're grateful for in the chat. Come on, y'all.
A good morning to you. A good morning to you. A good morning to you. Good morning to you. And we say a da 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 a da 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 a da 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 da. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. A good morning to you. A good morning to you. A good morning to you. Good morning to you. Go ahead and type it in. I can already feel all of that good energy and gratitude that's coming through. Hey, what are you grateful for today? Again, I'm grateful that we're here together on another Sunday. How amazing is that, huh? What y'all typing in? A good morning to you. 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 Good morning to you.
Oh, man, okay. What did I miss in the chat? I know I'm sitting here. I see Robin Jackson is in the chat there. Grateful for the rain. Oh, look at that. Rushard in Texas, man, I love it. Angie Bartlett-Treese is in the house. We've got Keisha in the house. Christina in the house. Oh, Nabu Remu, we're so grateful for breath and destiny. Look at all those great things coming in on that chat box, y'all. We love this energy. It lets you know, and it continues. So even if we're still right now, you're like, you know what, I couldn't get to my phone or I was trying to switch over. Guess what? Go ahead and type it now so that people can see. And my Infinite Life streamers who've been here before and have done what they need to do to get that energy going, and you're excited about that, listen, share that energy with somebody new in the chat. When somebody says that they're a first timer, go ahead and shower them with some hearts and some muscle arms and some thumbs ups. Give them some celebratory emoji. I don't know. There's so many new things happening in the emoji space that I know you can do some wonderful things. So whether you're watching us on YouTube, whether you're watching us on Facebook, Infinity Fellowship, Facebook, Rev Jeff Obafemi Carr, whether you're watching us on X, wherever you are, you can contribute some gratitude to this energy. And we want you to do that. Listen, it's time for us to welcome our first time visitors. And we like to say a special welcome to you here at the Infinity Fellowship. My name, if you've just tuned in, is Reverend Jeff Obafemi Carr. I go by Rev Jeff in this space that we call Infinity. And this is the moment where I get the pleasure and the privilege and the honor of welcoming our first-time visitors to the Infinity Fellowship. This is the place where people take a quantum leap from just simple, harsh religious doctrine into expansive spirituality. And it's a quantum leap because so many people have been looking for places where they could practice spirituality, and they were places that were not overly religious. And there's nothing wrong with religious spaces. We also know that there are a number of tenets of religion that you see in the Infinity Fellowship, in our rituals and what we do and the way we honor the God of your acceptance and understanding. We also know that the largest growing number of people in terms of demographics are people around the world who find themselves more spiritual than religious. And they're not necessarily affiliated with any one particular religion, but they see the commonality in all of them. That's what Infinity is. This is the space where people who feel like that find community and find home. So listen, you don't have to be there and out there by yourself. You have definitely found a place that you can call home. And this is where we welcome you. So if you're a first timer, go ahead and type first timer in the chat. You feel that energy in there. Go ahead and type first time. If you want to announce and tell your name, this may be that as well. We also want to bring up a slide that will allow you to scan the QR code. And that QR code, will also put a link in the chat. That QR code will give you access to our portal where we get to say hello. We'll just get a little bit of information from you. And from that little bit of information, we'll send you a card, a welcome card. And from that welcome card, we'll be able to connect you to our Sunday services. And from our Sunday services, you'll be able to come and visit, and hopefully come visit with us in person on First Sundays. And when you come and visit with us on First Sundays, you're going to have an opportunity to have the time of your life, because here at Infinity, we have the Youth Power Zone, where your young people can come, learn spiritual lessons, and also come together in unity. You'll also have popcorn and snacks after service, and coffee and tea. Most importantly, you get a powerful download every week, and that's the energy that's there. And we send this out to you with love. So Fill out that form. Let us know you're there. And I also want to say to those who have been waiting for our new members orientation, finally, we're at the point where we've coordinated our schedules. So listen, if you've been waiting to join Infinity Fellowship, go back to that visitors form and just check that box at the back end. Say, I'm ready to join Infinity. And we're going to send you specific information on our new members orientation so that you can get all of this wonderful ancient wisdom that we teach in this place and that you can expand in a powerful way. So we like to give you a special welcome. We're going to ask you at home to just kind of put your hands up at the screen and you can receive this that I'm saying to you. This is how we welcome our visitors around the world. People are saying this in their homes and they're saying it with me. They're saying it behind me, wherever it may be. Take a deep breath and extend your hand toward the screen. Just like that. And the music that you hear growing in the background is a song called Peace, Peace. It's something that we send out to you. And we send you the understanding that you can open your heart. And we extend spirit to you. Peace, peace, wonderful peace. Let my peace shine bright so the world can see. So at home, we send these words to you. I see you, but you don't hear me though. I really see the real you. I see who you are. You are a divine manifestation of God's creation. I see what you are. You are a spirit. You're more than what's on the outside. You're a gift to me and to the world. I see where you are. You're right here in front of me, where I can let you know, if nobody else will, that you are not alone. I'm with you. We're with you around the world, and you are at home. I see when you are. You're in the right now, baby. You are so much more than your yesterday. I see why you are. You're here to learn, to grow, to embrace your dreams, and to celebrate your divine destiny. I see why you are again. You're here to inspire. You're here to be inspired. You're here to put something into the game. You're here to grow in crossing the finish line. I know all of this because I'm here to do the same thing. So we are going to help each other out. All right. All right. I know the real you. And I see you shining today. We see you shining today. So welcome to Infinity. Welcome home. And all around the world, we say, Asheo! Pump it up, pump it up, pump it up. Crank it up now, crank it up now. Crank it up. If you're home, get up and just dance a little bit. Come on, or just dance a little bit. Hey, come on, just dance a little bit. Hey, come on. If you're at home, come on. Say 3 times to the right, to the left, 3 times. To the right, to the back, and then hit a turn. To the 1, 2, 3. Come on, somebody at home's doing this. Y'all better do it. Get that family up. Tell them go back 3 times. We're just gonna do the basics. Do you spin where you're going? Hey, what's that? Up. I need to. We used to have an infinity slide. That's 7 sips of caffeine. Hallelujah. That's what it'll do you. Actually, no, it's the spirit. It's the Holy Ghost that's in that moment right now. Hey, I don't mind dancing because, you know, if you look back at 2024, if I look back at 2024 and I think about everything that came up, not just for me, but for Infinity, and everything that was met and everything that was overcome, and every obstacle that became an opportunity, and every loss that became a lesson. Oh yeah, I was going to dance. And I encourage you to do the same thing too. Because when you're able to dance, when you're able to just let loose, when you're able to just celebrate, I guarantee you it means that you are free in who you are and you ain't thinking about nobody else. So I will dance because it's just something to be grateful for. I will Bankhead bounce. I will Reebok. I will get it all. Y'all don't want to start. Y'all don't want to start me. I'm lucky some of my folks aren't around. I might get a step in. We're lucky we weren't in person. Shout out to the brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, who this past week celebrated Founders Day. And to my fraternity brothers out there, and to everybody out there, because everybody is a fraternity and sorority, brother and sister. When we look at the organization of Alpha Phi Alpha, because December 4th, 1906, 118 years ago, y'all, that's when this first tradition of African American fraternities in the collegiate level started. And I'm pleased that it has flowered into so many more organizations that get to find a way, when they are doing the right thing, to be positive and to operate from that place. So yes, giving thanks for institutions that last 118 years. Listen, speaking of institutions that last 118 years, it's time for us to carry this energy and awareness into our sacred moment of giving, our moment of action, where we say to ourselves that we have received many things in this world. Our mantra this entire year has been, I give, I get, I got it good. So listen, as you are moving for your devices, we know that it is offering time at Infinity. This is on first Sunday when this place erupts in applause and thanksgiving. Why? Because we give in gratitude. We do not give from guilt and obligation. When you give with guilt and obligation, you're actually practicing a spirit of lack. You're saying, I don't want to do this. Or as well, I think Alicia reminded me of, I think it was Kai, or maybe it was Kamaria, and said, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. It's Kamaria says, I don't want. She would say something like that. Well, can you imagine somebody saying to you, I don't want, and then you that's the vibration that you get all the time. So when you're giving from lack, you're saying to the universe, I don't want to participate in giving. I don't want to be abundant. I don't want prosperity. I don't want any good. I don't want to, because guess what? You cannot match the vibration if you aren't in the vibration of giving. That's why at Infinity, one of the things we learn when we bring in the new members, one of the things that we go through when we talk about our 4 spiritual laws, when we talk about our 10 virtues, when we really put this in, is how does this work in a practical world? How does practical spirituality work? Practical spirituality means, hey, you put in, you get it back. And here's the thing, you don't do it to game it. You don't just say, well, I'm just going to try it out a little bit and see how much I get back. That's gambling. Don't gamble with the universe. A gambling spirit means that you're going to have high highs, low lows, instead of the constant abundance of knowing that all my needs are met. Take a deep breath with me. Exhale and release. Repeat that phrase. All my needs are met. All my needs are met. And so it is. See, that's when you know that, when you say that confidently, that's what giving's about. I don't do a long pitch. I don't do all of the stuff that you see, church all the time. Why? Because this is action, baby. Spirituality, nurturing, action, and proof. And I guarantee you put in this action, you're going to see the proof. But we do it not because we're trying to get something out of it. I want y'all to listen to that. That's part of the message of the entire day. We don't do it. We do it because we've already received. So what we're doing is we're giving back, and giving back a portion of what you receive to the place where you get your spiritual food is how we not only build community. I just talked about the alphas. They give. You're going to have to, those dues and all that stuff, your jackets you paid for, good Lord, all that stuff, initiation, and that's fine because you do get something out of it, but you also get 118 years of being an institution. So look, where we're going to be in 108 years, because we're 10 years in. So that's what we're building on. So thank you for your gifts today. Thank you for your offerings today. To our first timers, thank you for feeling what spirit moved you to give. Thank you for saying in this moment that I want the universe to tune me to a frequency of abundance and giving. And so by doing that, I've got to participate so the universe gives me what I am and not what I want. And not what I say I'm going to be one day. Let's get together and say our offertory affirmation, and then we'll give you the ways that you can give all electronically today, except for if you or a person who likes to mail in a check or money order, we're so grateful for those of you who take the time to head down to the post office old school style and do a money order or write a check and put it in the envelope. It's still the same thing. And we love that when you're writing that check out, it is written with intent. So with intent, this is what we do. We say together our offertory affirmation, and we'll pull it up on the screen. I want you to pause wherever you are, hold your heart, hold your phone if you want, hold your checkbook, and feel this divine energy here as we recognize that everything is good. Let us say our offertory affirmation together. O limitless, abundant creator, source of everything I possess, you have given me the gifts of life, breath, and creativity. You continue to provide for me without judgment or preference. And so I freely return these gifts to you with my whole heart, mind, and intention, knowing that as I give freely with both remembrance and gratitude, the circle of abundance will be unbroken. And so it is. We're going to say everything is good.
Everything is good.
Everything is good.
Everything is good.
I got it.
I got it.
I got it.
I got it.
I got it good.
got it.
We're going to sing that too, and you're going to sing it along with us. On the screen, you see the ways that we give to Infinity Fellowship. And you see the ways that they come out, the ways that that we can give include Cash App, $Infinity Fellowship, PayPal, paypal.me/Infinity Fellowship. And of course, you can send it in the mail right here to the brick and mortar headquarters of Infinity Fellowship, 641 West Nocturne Drive, Nashville, Tennessee, 37207. And we say again that everything is good. Ha ha, we love it. Let's sing this song while we got the slide up. Come on, y'all. Everything is good. Everything is good.
Yeah.
Everything is good.
Oh,
Everything is good. And I've got it. I've got it. Oh, I've got it good. Hey.
Hey, yeah.
Everything is good, yeah. Everything is good. Everything is good.
Oh,
Everything is good. And I've got it. I've got it. Oh, I've got it good.
Hey, everything is good. Everything is good. Yes, it is. Everything is good. Oh, everything is good. And I've got it. I've got it. Oh, I've got it good. Come on and sing with me. Everything is good. Yes, it is.
Everything is good.
Yeah, everything is good. Oh, everything is good, and I've got it. I've got it. Oh, I've got it good. Hey, everything. Yes, it is.
Everything is good.
Everything is good. Come on and tell yourself, I've got it. I've got it. Oh, I've got it good. Hey, everything is good. Yeah, everything is good. Yes, it is. Everything is good. Oh, everything is good, and I've got it. I've got it. Oh, I've got it good.
I've got it
I've
good.
got it good. I've got it. Hey, I've got it. Oh, I've got it good.
I've got it good. Can you say it at home? Come on, stand up and sing it.
I've got it. Hey, I've got it. Oh, I've got it good. Oh, and you've got it good. Yeah.
Snap, 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 snap at home, snap at home, snap at home, snap at home, y'all. What an awesome, awesome moment, y'all. To be good about it. Thank y'all. Thank y'all again. It's for everything that you pour into this fellowship, for all that you do to make sure that we are able to stand here. I'm here to tell you that 2025 is looking mighty, mighty good as we get ready to go toward 2025, we want to continue to have the uplifting and exciting energy of participation in Infinity Fellowship. And if you're brand new, I cannot wait to meet you. I can't wait to meet you on First Sunday. We've got a slate of great Sundays here, and we're going to tell you a little bit about that right now. Listen, we do something here called standing ovations, and I want to make sure that those of you who have had something awesome happen for you, that you go ahead and get your standing ovation in. We're going to put a QR code on the screen and a link in the chat that will give you an opportunity to share that standing ovation. Go ahead and just hold it up right there. That little QR code right there, scan that, please, that standing ovation. Just go ahead and tap on it. I'm going to wait for you. We're going to tap on it together, get that standing ovation in. You got about 2 minutes, 3 minutes max to get that standing ovation in. And by that, I mean, fill it out now, let it populate, because then we're going to have to give it a couple of minutes to populate so that we can read it for you electronically on air. But we want to know about that special accomplishment that you've had happen as a result of your spiritual practice here at Infinity Fellowship. And there are people who have worked on manifesting their dreams and worked on getting over fears that they've had. They've worked on trying to focus more. And cross that finish line. And guess what? We celebrate you. And the reason why we celebrate you is if you can tune yourself to the frequency of celebrating for someone, then that is the frequency that the universe attunes to as it relates to you. And that's the beauty of it. So as we are in this beautiful space of celebration, I want you to go ahead and put your standing ovation in, and we'll start to allow those to populate while we get to our announcements today. We want to welcome you to the 12th and final month of 2024, y'all. We have made it to late in the midnight hour. God's gonna turn it around. It's gonna work in your favor. Yeah, that's you had to tune in last week for that, because we are definitely blessed. And what is working now in 2024 is this understanding that we are operating in the year of divine reciprocity, just like your screen says. And when you're talking about divine reciprocity, it is equal exchange or interchange. The law of attraction teaches us that what we put into the universe is attracted to us. So we're excited to invite you to empower yourself continually by speaking aloud our daily mantra for the year. It's down there on the left. I am that I am. I give, I get, I got it good. Say it with me. Read it off the screen. I am that I am. I give, I get, I've got it good. That's called divine reciprocity. And that's what's important. Listen, December's theme is a great theme that we've been working on. It's called Crossing the Finish Line. And when we talk about crossing the finish line, what are you waiting on? This month provides the boost that you need to close out 2024 with the momentum that you've been building up in this year-long dose that you've been inhaling and in partaking in of divine reciprocity. Make sure you join us on the Infinite live stream every Sunday. And most importantly, put these practices to work if you want to see fruit in your life. I will tell you this one-to-one before we go back to the slides. And that is this. Listen, message is coming up in a minute. The download is coming up in a minute as Spirit speaks. Those of you who are ready to grow, I'm speaking to a very specific few of you all who are ready to grow. You're not ready to be motivated today. So, oh, that was a great download. It was a great message. I feel good. But you know how I know? You got your journal ready. You got your pieces of paper ready. You got your notes app ready. You got whatever it is that you need, because you're getting some instruction today in a practical way to grow and to move forward. So listen, this is your early warning system saying, get your document ready that you can write on today, because we want to give you this practical information that will help you cross the finish line. Here's your reminder that Sunday services, we meet in person on First Sundays. Yes, and First Sundays are so off the chain that you better put the next First Sunday on your calendar. It will be in January. We're going to celebrate. And First Sunday in January is going to be special. It is focused on spirit. Second Sunday centers on nurturing. That's today. Third Sunday is If Teaches. where we get to ask the profound questions after our Sunday spiritual download. Fourth Sunday, of course, is our one and only Yoga Sunday. Let me say this so that you can make sure that you hear me on this when I'm telling you about First Sunday. So First Sunday in January is going to be very special. First Sunday in January goes to starting the new year. And I want to telegraph this to those of you who are first timers or those of you who've been planning on joining us. If you don't miss if you're going to miss any First Sunday, don't miss the First Sunday in January. We're going to announce the new theme for 2025. We're also going to smudge you. So we're going to do our fire ceremony right outside of the facility, and we're going to do that. So bring your kids. We're going to do the commitment ceremony where you put the things that you no longer need. You put that behind you. We're going to send you a form for that, make it available to everyone. You bring it with you. We're going to put it in the fire. We're going to smudge you. We're going to cover you, and we're going to make that a part of what we do for First Sunday. And then after First Sunday, Lady Kenitha, we're going to eat some food, and it's going to be crazy because, you know, Infinity, I brag on everybody. I can tell you about what everybody cooks in here, old folks, new folks, and aspiring folks. We get food and we eat, and most of the food is primarily vegetarian and vegan. We also have meat eaters, and that's great too, but you don't have to worry about having a special diet. We got you covered, so make sure you put that on there. That's going to be important. Every other Sunday we're going to be virtual, so keep tuning in. If you got this moment, hit that thumbs up button, hit that like, hit that share, tag somebody who might have their pen and paper ready to do this, and let's get this thing going right. That's what our Sundays look like, as it says on the screens, and we're going to keep that going. I want to ask you a question. Have you experienced love and light yet? Infinity folks, you go through ancient wisdom, you go through the spiritual laws, you learn about them, and then you get to join the Band app. And the Band app is just a beautiful place where we get to chat with one another. We also have a place for members' accomplishments where you get to list the things that are happening for you in your world that you've accomplished and get celebrated. And most importantly, on Wednesday nights, we have this wonderful gathering where you get to reinforce the themes of Sunday morning. So the topic of Sunday morning, you get an opportunity to unpack them in a powerful way. And that is Love and Light, hosted by that delightful couple that you see, Tashana and Tyrell Lindsley. And that's their shining faces right there. And they have committed to doing this. They have been doing this for over a year, every single Wednesday night. Listen, you could have been there every Wednesday. You may just show up this Wednesday, but mark your calendar to drop in on Wednesday, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. They are always there. And what happens is you get a chance to do a modified version of If Teaches. You get a chance to just absorb the message, talk about how it affected you, and most importantly, share the spiritual practices that are showing fruit in your life. And that's the beauty of having that. Other people get together Wednesday night, they have a conversation, it's great. We got a powerhouse conversation called Love and Light, and we invite you to be a part of it. That said, y'all, it's time for standing ovations.
Energy at If comes from our practice of SNAP.
We have high energy.
We have high energy, and I didn't have my microphone on. We have high energy.
Oh, your mic has high energy now.
There it is.
I think people
And
heard through my mic.
It comes from our practice of SNAP, and that's why we, during this part of the service, we receive practical lessons and tools for our individual journeys. That's spirituality. We fellowship with like-minded spirits every week. That's nurturing. We take what we learn and we apply it in our lives. That's action. And if we do these, then every week we see examples of the progress in our lives. And y'all, that is the proof. So let us pause to enjoy a collective moment of manifestation and expansion. And this is what's going to happen. When your name is called, wherever you are, please stand as I read aloud your manifestation. When I finish each person's ovations, we will all snap our fingers to celebrate and affirm them.
Yes,
Okay?
yes, yes.
And then at the very end, we're going to give a collective standing ovation.
All right, y'all. This is how we give our standing ovation. We are in the house today. Chris Well must be traveling. I know he's doing something because he put it in the chat. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull him up right there. I see him on the screen. Sister, right there, Chriswell Muhammad. There it is. I'm going to go ahead and give you this shout. Well, Chriswell and Destiny. We are in Gratitude Day. We are grateful that San Francisco Jazz is still running Destiny Muhammad's concert on YouTube for free. Y'all do yourself a favor and Google Destiny Muhammad Trio, San Francisco Jazz Festival, and after service, because Chriswell and Destiny know, they know, they ain't gonna try to send you somewhere else. You know, people come on a church, say, oh, come over here and do this. They know, because they home folks, but they know that they ain't telling you to go watch it now, but we know that they're telling you as soon as service is over and you get your tea and you making your notes, you better put that on, and y'all better listen to some of the best, most smoking, most powerful, most spiritual jazz you have ever heard in your life. Grab it and be a part of it. It's on there. Shout out there. That is a great standing ovation. Okay, next standing ovation we have goes to our online forum, and there it is. That is also from Destiny Muhammad. Blessed to be performing with an awesome orchestra today. If It's Magic by Stevie Wonder. So grateful for your prayers. We're grateful for you, Destiny. I don't want to, okay. 2025, we have something very powerful that's going to happen in this room. Yes. And it's going to happen around the commemoration of the solar rotation. That's all I can say right now. But be prepared in 2025 to hear the music of infinity on a whole new level. And for all those who have been a part with the voices and musicians, y'all, it's going to be awesome. So yes, thank you for that inspiration as always. To Sister Thea Jones, everybody around the world, snap. You know it's going to be something good because she is always practicing something amazing in terms of how she puts that abundant spirit in the world. Sister Thea Jones says, I learned on Monday that my student loans have been completely forgiven. I am officially debt-free.
Oh, okay. That make you want to shout.
Woo. Man, that made me, man, almost made me wish I took out some more student loans. I was like, man, we're going to forgive some. We're going to get forgiveness. How about that? Being debt-free. Come on, debt-free. All right, we got Anaya Coleman. Good morning, Infinity family. Good morning, Infinity family. I would like to share that I am now an active member of the band sorority Tau Beta Sigma, where we strive to service the band and the TSU community. I am grateful to be a part of the sisterhood and serve as the first female bass drummer in the Zeta Pi chapter of Tau Beta Sigma. I hope everyone is having a great day. Come on, Sister Anaya. Holding down the bass drum. Man, Daniel played bass drum, and he was strong, and he was out there. Good Lord, hold it down, sisters. The warrior queens, I love it. Sister Tashana Lindsley, I had the opportunity to join a platform in its pilot stage a couple of years ago. The space has grown, and now Hey Auntie is an award-winning intergenerational platform. I am being interviewed for an upcoming article by Chronicle of Philanthropy magazine about my involvement. Look at this. Another question. The existential question, Sister Tashana, is, from your perspective, are people saying, hey, Auntie, to you now, or are you saying, hey, Auntie, to other people now? There will be a time when those roles will reverse. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Get that wisdom in. And Taylor Lindsley is getting in on the action. She says, it's Taylor. This week is my birthday. I'm turning 11. And I also have a choir play, and I'm excited. Miss Kenitha, your hair is cute, too. How about that?
Thank you.
I agree. Everybody's fine. That's all I got. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Yeah. Happy birthday, y'all. I think we've gotten everything on there. And I'm sending a personal standing ovation. It was 60 Minutes Sports did a feature story a few years back on a relationship I had with one of my top students in the world that I ever had, that I studied with. I'm always very proud of him as an individual who's a superstar out there. At that time, we used to call him Young Eddie George. But he's a great guy who got tapped to be head coach of my alma mater, Tennessee State University. And this ended his journey, or was a part of his journey, through the NFL and then eventually into business and commentating. And he was tapped to be the head coach. Didn't have coaching experience, but had always had the winning spirit that we talked about over the years. And I want to say that I celebrate your brother E and the entire Big Blue Nation, because not only did we, for the first time in 25 plus years, score a share of the Ohio Valley Conference and Big South Conference championship. Wow. Big Blue Boys got rings out there, but we also went to Montana and played those Grizzlies out there in the first round. We got selected to play in the FCS playoffs, and was 1 or 2 drop past the whole state out there of these teams that have played and won multiple championships over the year. Terrified them in that cold weather. The Big Blue showed out. Every time they tried to go ahead, we intercepted or came back. It was a back and forth to the very end. So Big Blue has been restored, and I send a shout out to Tennessee State University football head coach Eddie George. We love y'all, man. Y'all showed out, and everybody's still riding high from the Big Blue being in the FCS playoffs for the first time in years. Standing ovation there. All right, Mama, you got an announcement to make that is important for our young people, or something?
Do it now, or we should do it
Before we act a fool, I think.
Okay. Well, just a quick announcement for our youth, which is exciting. It's a standing ovation. We have an activity at the Adventure Science Center on December 21st at 12 o'clock. But what I need is if you did not sign up, make sure that you sign up today so that we can go ahead and get our RSVP in. So just email us at infinitynashville@gmail.com. Again, that's infinitynashville@gmail.com, so that we can just have a head count. And we want to have a really, really, really good time, y'all. We're taking our youth field trip. So that will be for December 21st at 12 o'clock.
It's going to be fun.
We will meet at the Adventure Science Center, as well as I will be giving information out this week. So more details to come.
Okay, so Infinity, you check your email. Also, send us an email if you want to get in on that early. infinitynashville@gmail.com. And also, we'll put a link in the band app. Youth trip. We're going to go in. Having fun. That's what it is. You want spirituality to be fun too. Mm-hmm. You want to be able to have a great time wherever you are. I love it. All right. What do we do, Mama?
All right. So if you did share, you get to have several seats, while the rest of us are going to stand to our feet and give a thunderous standing ovation. All right. Here we go. Woo!
We'll do that too. Those are the announcements and the ovations for today. So it is spoken, so it is received, and so it is. I'm going to switch over mic so I can talk to y'all. We'll put up today's meditation as well. Today's meditation is a sweet and simple one, because today's meditation comes from Abraham Maslow, For those of you who are writing or screenshotting, you can get this. Is an either or. I'd absolutely love it. In any given moment, we have two options: to step forward into growth or to step back into safety. That's your choice. Step forward into growth or step back into safety. What you gonna do? What are you going to do? It's time to make the donuts. My, it's time to make the donuts. When we talk about this year that we are in, and we talk about this month that we are in, y'all, I'm always reminded of just the themes that we go through month to month. And this theme is crossing the finish line. What are you waiting on? And so I asked last week, what is it that you are waiting on? Are you waiting on somebody to give you permission? Are you waiting on somebody to give you a customized cheer like a cheerleader on a sideline would? Are you waiting on the heavens to open up and for you to receive some kind of huge affirmation from the universe, whatever it may be? I don't know what it is that you might be waiting on, but I'm telling you that as we get to the end of 2024, it's time for you to cross the finish line. And when we're crossing the finish line, we finish the line, we cross the finish line in three areas. It's life, it's longevity, and it's legacy. Somebody in the chat, I want y'all to know that y'all are listening. I need to know that y'all are listening today. So I'm going to ask you all to be a part of this on a whole new way. So I need y'all to hit that repeat in that. When I say something, I need you to drop that knowledge so that people can have institutional knowledge on the Infinite Life Stream so you can categorize these things yourself. Life, longevity, legacy. The three ways that we divide this up. We divide up the energy of life, why we are here in this divine moment. We divide up this energy of longevity. How do we move toward longevity? And then we go into a place of how do we leave a legacy? These are three spiritual questions. These are three download questions that come to us in our consciousness that when we look at these three L's, they give us the lessons that we need to be successful. What are you waiting on? Well, I'm telling you right now that it's time for us to make the donuts. And I just got to give a shout out to the late, great Michael Vale. And Michael Vale was a commercial actor. And as a commercial actor, Michael Vale was a person who had a powerful, powerful legacy. He had this powerful legacy because he was someone who worked in over 1,300 commercials. And those of you who have done commercials, you know exactly what that means. You know that that's a lot of good work. 1,300 commercials over the course of a life. And of these 1,300 commercials, there were that kept him active through 1997 and kept him in a well enough position where he could eventually transition into life after life. In 2005, people say, well, I don't know who this man Michael Vale is. Well, I think one of his lasting legacies that Michael Vale gave us was this concept of the sleepy-eyed baker named Fred. People say, well, I don't understand what that means because I wasn't watching television in the 80s and I wasn't into commercials like that. But I guarantee you will recognize from 1984 one of his most famous commercials because it was for one of the biggest chains that many of us ever have. And I don't know if you're a Starbucks person and I don't know if you're a Dutch Brothers person, but I know many of you, many people throughout some point in time have been a Dunkin' Donuts person. And if you're a Dunkin' Donuts person, you might recognize Michael Vale as the sleepy-eyed Fred the baker who got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, as my mama would say, 4 day in the morning, and said, it's time to make the donuts. You see, now we got the revelation coming through in the chat. Somebody in the chat say it's time to make the donuts. You see, Fred, the sleepy-eyed baker, would get up, and if you have not seen this, you have an opportunity to Google this so you can see and know that to be true. And it was a beautiful commercial. They had a 1-minute version and they had a 30-second version. I like the 30-second version because it happened so quick. In the morning, Brother Fred the baker would get up and have his hat on, and he would have his Dunkin' Donuts shirt on, and he would walk to the door, and he would be all bright and sunny and say, "It's time to make the donuts." And he would open the door and walk out, and almost as soon as he walked out, the door would open and you see him coming home. And at first he's just a little bit tired. He was like, accomplishment, I made the donuts. Time to make the donuts, I made the donuts. You see, when you're living life and you're going through working the donuts, how many of you had that feeling where you decided that you were inspired? It was a moment of inspiration where you were ready to go make your donuts, and you were ready to go make your mark in the world, and you heard a download that made you say, I'm ready to go and defeat whatever obstacles are here for me, or I'm ready to stand up and do the right thing. And you charged out and you opened that new bank account, and you charged out and you wrote that check, and you charged out and you bet on yourself. And that's the equivalent of you making your own donuts. And you felt so good when you came back in, you said, I made the donuts. But see, the beautiful thing about that commercial is as it goes on, things start to change rather quickly. You see, Fred gets out because Dunkin' Donuts was bragging about how they bake these donuts not once, but twice a day. Not just early in the morning, in the middle of the night, but late in the midnight hour, so that Fred the baker was charged with going, mythologically speaking, in to make the donuts come rain or shine 2 times a day. And so because he was coming in 2 times a day, it went quickly from time to make the donuts, I made the donuts, to time to make the donuts. Going out the door, and a sleepier Fred coming back in. I made the donuts. Then him going out with a rain umbrella in his hand. Time to make the donuts. And then the coming back in from making the donuts soaking wet. I made the donuts. Time for him to make the donuts with a parka on. And then you see him coming in later with a blizzard going on, barely making it in the house. I made the donuts. 2 times a day. 56 varieties of donuts Brother Fred made. And I know you're saying, Lord, have mercy. But I know there's still others who are saying, well, Fred made donuts. I'd be okay with making donuts. You got to live my life. I got to get out and make my own donuts. And I don't know what your donuts are, but somebody out here has this metaphorical donut that you need to be making. I don't know if it's playing an instrument. I don't know if it's acting in a production. I don't know if it's writing a play. I don't know if it's putting together a business plan. I don't know if it's tending to your children and your family. I don't know what it is that it is your equivalency of writing donuts, but I know that you, like Fred the baker, have to develop a pattern that helps you be able to not only proclaim that you're going to do it, but you do it in a disciplined way. It's because you know that it has to be delivered, and you get the opportunity to get up, rain or shine, and proclaim it's time to make the donuts. And yes, you feel that through the blizzard, that through the obstacles that hit you, through the things that popped up that you did not expect, they wore you down. So by the time you make it home, just like sleepy-eyed Fred the baker, you are worn out, but you are saying something that affirms what you said when you left out into the world. Not that you were going to make them, but that you made them. And I would posit that in that confirmation tone, that even when you're tired, you feel the endorphins flow of dopamine that let you know that you accomplished something good. Have you ever held on when you thought you were going to quit? And even when you were tired, when you made it home and plopped into bed, when your mind was racing, when your body was hurting, when you weren't sure of what was happening was going to happen, but you had the simple thing, the simple discipline of promising yourself that you were going to do something and then following through. You slept with ease because you knew you did what you're supposed to do. And so when we're talking about life, I want to leave you briefly with just a couple of pointers before we get to longevity, before we get to legacy. The first thing that I want to leave you with is a point when you're making these donuts, when you're doing this catchphrase, that if you can free your inner consciousness from the algorithms long enough to remember what real life looks and feels like, you'll discover what your role in it is. Take a deep breath. Write that down. Somebody in the chat tell me it's time for real life. It's time for real life. See, what we may not know, because we live in a world of conflated ego. We live in a world, and I say this, I've been saying it this month, but it's important. The Spirit wanted you to hear something unique today. Spirit wanted you to understand something unique today. That we are often now taught to get into an online or virtual space when we are down or depressed, and we seek comfort in the online digital spaces. If you feel bad, it doesn't matter how you feel like you look. If you put a picture of yourself up, people will put those hearts on there. And if you feel bad, you'll start to feel good by people who are putting hearts. You don't question the motives of those who are putting the hearts. You don't question if they may be a stalker. You don't question if they may be somebody who is catfishing. You just enjoy the dopamine rush that comes from the heart. And so we're taught to scroll. And when we eventually scroll, we are building a digital profile. And that digital profile is being put together for one reason and one reason only: to put you into what's called in marketing the sales funnel. We call it the sales funnel. I don't want anybody to confess that they're caught in the sales funnel, but the sales funnel builds this digital twin of you, and digital twins are being built with artificial intelligence right now, and they're being built by companies and placed on servers, and they're being used in medical technology along with blood-based biomarkers and other scientific amalgamations of technology that are intersectional and multidisciplinary. They are being put together to create a digital twin of you that can then be manipulated. I need my mic. I think my battery died. That can then be. I'm good? Okay, good. I'm just going to keep it here. That can then be manipulated. This digital profile can be manipulated to get you to do one thing: get into a sales funnel. You see, if I want you to imagine in your eyes, close your eyes briefly. Take a deep breath. And I want you to imagine that you are standing in an open area, and that in front of you, there is a giant tunnel. And in this giant tunnel, it's big enough to hold you, but it has a very narrow a hole in the middle of the tunnel. So this big opening here, and there is a very narrow hole. Now, if you could imagine you stepping into this tunnel, and all around you are other people. There may be 10, 20, 30 other people who are standing in this hole with you. And as they are standing in this tunnel, in this hole with you, there is a hole at the bottom that is designed for only one person to fit through. And so now the tunnel begins rotating, and you feel yourself moving downward with the pull of gravity. Some people grab hold of the edges of that tunnel and they climb out. Some people jump out. Other people enjoy the feeling of being turned around, and they enjoy just letting go. And eventually they slip down into that individual hole, and there they go. That is the sales funnel. Open your eyes. That may have been disturbing and claustrophobic to some people, which I understand, because it should be. That is called the sales funnel. So in other words, we've got people who are trapped in this scrolling environment, and some people say, enough, I'm getting out. Other people say, I'm enjoying the feeling of scrolling. I'm looking into other people's lives, not realizing that my digital twin is being manipulated toward the things that are negative, because marketing studies have told us that negativity is what keeps people engaged, that rarely do people stay engaged in positive stuff. They want to find out the messy stuff. They want to know what happened during that live stream and whether the fight was real or not. guy. They want to know what happened to these people and who was at the party and what executives were there and what stars participated in what behavior. And so your digital twin has now been figured out such that it can mirror the virtual universe with reality, all designed to suck you into a sales funnel so that they know by a certain number of clicks you're ready through your depression to practice what American media has dubbed retail therapy. God, I didn't know Spirit was going to go this deep. If we were in another environment, if we were in a marketing pitch, if I was trying to sell you a timeshare, if I was trying to get you to buy a car on credit that you cannot afford, I would say, type in the chat, I need me some retail therapy. But I'm not doing that, so you don't need retail therapy. And I tell you why we know that retail therapy, at least in the minds of those who have been digitally twinned, tends to work is because psychologically we have been told that when we are depressed, go for outward accoutrement to make us feel better instead of looking within. See, we each have this funnel within us too, that when we decide that we're not going to be distracted, the rotation of vibration becomes a powerful frequency that draws us instead of downward, it draws us upward. It draws us upward into a space of higher consciousness. And from the space of higher consciousness, we are able to communicate to ourselves that what we need is to have perspective on how good things are, so that the things that come from the outside are icing on the cake and not the foundation of the cake. But see, when we are trapped in the negative, we are thinking that we need retail therapy because we're taught that it's going to make us feel good. If we buy the right song, it'll make us feel good. If we buy the right shirt, if we buy the right dress, if we buy the right hair. Yes, you can buy hair right now. And not just the sisters can buy hair, but the men can buy hair too. I joke with my kids and I say I can fill in these little parts here if I just get me the right little glue on, and I can shake it and rattle it and roll it. And they were terrified. So I decided, let me stop that joke before they get too grossed out. But you can buy anything that you want, and it's supposed to make you feel better. And when people say, well, I'm not caught in that cycle of that hamster wheel, I say, make sure that you check yourself, because America is. How is it that just a few weeks ago we were lamenting over what happened on November 5th? That we could not believe the hatred and negativity that won in the elections in this country. We cannot believe all of the things that happened and the people that showed up and told us in our faces that they loved us and then went behind in the ballot box and voted another way. We could not believe it, so we started generating artwork that's saying sisters are through, and they're on the skyscrapers looking at the buildings burn, and they're sipping tea. And this is, of course, some nexus of both positivity and negativity, and all of these emotions are coming out. And instead of activism in the streets, instead of institutions now being strong, instead of scholarship funds to HBCUs exploding, instead of building and seeing spiritual communities now being able to rise from the ashes and come back again, instead of seeing full seats in community meetings, instead of seeing that, we didn't see any of it. But what we did see was the biggest Black Friday in modern history. Somebody said, I'm depressed. Let me go spend some money. Let me go spend money that I do not have, because the virtual world has locked me in. But I would posit that the first thing that we're going to do, if we're going to practice this life right now, is that we have to make a separation. We have to make a designation. We have to make a delineation between what we perceive to be the virtual life and what we perceive to be as real life. Sometimes you need a hug and you're not getting a hug from a like. Sometimes you need to get with your friends and say, we are going to go somewhere and sit down and eat. And if you don't want to use retail therapy for it, I'm telling you, there's no greater therapy than having the people you love the most sit around you and across from you at a table. I had an experience in Thanksgiving, 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 all of the holidays that you put, that one of the greatest experiences I ever had And since my mom had made the transition, I'm 100% transparent with you all at Infinity. And you all know, if you're watching this broadcast, our transition was rough after mom left. I can see the chair in the lobby where she sat in her last Thanksgiving just a few years ago and gave us a message of hope. And since she transitioned, I know personally it can be hard when the anchor is pulled from the family. So we have to begin to find family in brand new ways. We have to find family by loyalty and connection. We're not always toward blood. But when you do that and you create rituals over people coming together and putting a chicken on the table and putting some greens on the table and putting some deviled eggs on the table, and after they're all gone, having a conversation that reinforces that this is the power of community, that we can see each other, love each other, touch each other, flow with each other. It gives you a superpower that allows you to not be sucked into the sales funnel, to sucked into a place that drains your life, but that gives you life more abundantly. Somebody say, I'm ready for some real folks. Somebody say that in the chat. I'm ready for some real folks. I'm ready for some real folks. The second thing that I'm going to give you when we talk about longevity is really simple. Give it some time, baby. What you are creating today is a gift for tomorrow. Give it some time, baby. Y'all don't know about that. Give it some time, baby. Who's that? Is that Peebo? Give me some time, babe. Destiny, who is that? I want to say that's Peebo and Natalie. Natalie Cole. I think that's Peebo and Natalie Cole. I got an album somewhere. I got some vinyl somewhere, but I used to love that. Give it some time, baby. You see, what you're working on is longevity. And what you do in the right now, your future self is going to help you. Young people, the choices that you make right now, that's why I say, we always said from the 70s and 80s, say no to drugs. Remember the commercials, this is your brain on drugs, all of that. But what we're saying to you is what you do to your body right now will have fruit in the future. What you do right now, folks who are first timers at Infinity, when you say, did this man say that they practice yoga on 4 Sundays? This man did say that we're practicing yoga on 4 Sundays. Why? And when you say, well, I want to skip that Sunday, guess what? If you skip that Sunday, I tell you, in 10 years, your future self may have said, I wish you hadn't have skipped all of those Sundays, because it sure is hard for me to stand up now. It sure is harder for me to drop down to the floor and get back up. It sure is harder for me to try to stand on one leg. It sure is harder for me to squat. It sure is harder for me to be able to jog and catch somebody as they are leaving with my keys in their purse. It sure is harder for me to get up and down those steps. But that's what your future self is going to say. But it's not going to happen that way, because I'm telling you right now, as you are taking your notes, you recognize that the investment that you make right now will have a return in the future. And so everything that you begin to train your psyche and your consciousness for has a benefit in the future, and you cannot escape the opportunity to joyfully participate. Come on, last series, to joyfully participate in your actions that will bring fruit down the line. I'm still stuck on some Thanksgiving stuff because the food was so good. I violated the rule of Thanksgiving. I ate those leftovers for 3 or 4 days. They say you're supposed to eat them for 2. But y'all don't know the people I know and how they cook. I found ways to preserve them that you would not, and I ate them over and over again, and they were healthy options too. But I'm telling you this to say that I understand a basic principle of life. You cannot make grandmama's cornbread in the microwave. Somebody need to remind somebody of that in the chat. You can't make grandmama's cornbread in the microwave. You have to be willing to follow the recipe and to be patient. Because the things that you work on step by step right now are the things that will bring you fruit tomorrow and guarantee you your longevity. If you have not in this moment been a person who has practiced journaling so that you can keep track of where you are right now and you can see incrementally your growth, then I suggest that you start it today. I suggest that you go out to the grocery store, go out to the big market store, wherever you are, get you a legal pad, get you a notebook, get you a nice pen, and start this work. If you have been a person who has run away from your practice of daily meditation, then you get back into it. 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever you are, what space you are in. Do not miss this opportunity to start your day in centralization and understanding who you are. Used to be a song that say, time after time, I start my day with a made-up mind, and when the end of the day has come, you see, you start your day with a made-up mind. That comes from centering in meditation to see what Spirit has to say. That means that you enter that space of silence, and from that space, you emerge into regular consciousness space by then pouring energy into realignment toward manifestation, by then uttering the things that you are grateful for, listing the things that you are grateful for, and even if you are facing an obstacle, you are proclaiming that you are overcoming that obstacle, and not that you're going to do it, but it is already done. Somebody in the chat say, it is done. Somebody say, it is done. You got to let the recipe work. And just like grandma had to take that egg out and had to take that buttermilk out and had to take that meal out and had to take that baking powder out and they had to add it in a certain kind of way, and they had to at the same time put that iron skillet in the stove with that oil and let it heat up to a certain temperature and then pour it in so that the bottom of the cornbread would have the seal on the crust, and then put it in and move it to the top rack of the oven so that it would have that golden brown on that as well. Whatever your recipe is, you're not going to get that in the microwave. So step by step, you move toward growth, and you got to just give it some time. That means you have to be patient, knowing that the work that you are doing every single day has a payoff by tomorrow. You see, we've got a culture that wants to do it quick. We could take a drug and lose some weight quick. We could take a drug and get some strength quick. We could take a drug and wake up quick. We can take a drug and get some sustenance quick. We can do all of that. But then down the line, we start hearing about what has happened in the long-term effects. And they start saying things like, well, what we didn't know would happen was fill in the blank. Because anything that comes quickly also can take you down quickly. But when you slowly build, you recognize that you are building piece by piece. Somebody said, I'm ready to be disciplined. I'm ready to trust myself. I'm ready to trust Spirit. The last thing that I'm giving you before we close this out is that the greatest gift you can contribute to reaching the finish line is to model balance. For as the Yoruba proverb says, the bell rings loudest in your own home. Take a deep breath. The bell rings loudest in your own home. Shout out for the reminder of this from Sister Yeye Falame, who we were having a conversation and we were talking about how do we live this life. We live in a world now where everybody wants to give instruction. Everyone wants to be an expert. Everyone wants to achieve a degree simply so that they can monetize things that they hear. We have people who come to spiritual community, and they come to spiritual community, and some people are taking notes for their own spiritual growth. Some people are taking notes so that they can go out and monetize the lessons, but eventually it all runs out. And I'm telling you why it runs out. If you don't contribute the deep study, if you don't contribute the practice in your own life, then eventually when you monetize it, the money runs out because people realize that your well was not that deep. But I'm here to tell you that your individual well will be deeper if you remember that the bell rings loudest in our own home. You see, the work that we do, the time and effort that we put into our children, the time and effort that we put into our friendships and relationships, the time and effort that we put into our dreams, it is the ringing of the bell, and the bell rings loudest in my home. Somebody in that chat, if you've got a moment, if you can take your hand off that journal, because I know you're writing those notes today, if you can just say in that chat, my bell rings loudest in my house. See, this is how it works. And Spirit's saying, be very specific in this. How we talk to people in our own house is the loud ringing of the bell. You can't talk to people any kind of way in your house and then step out and be friendly to everybody else and expect that you're going to be balanced. You can't talk and treat and mistreat people who are in your closest circle and then put on a face to the outside where you're nicer to strangers than you are to the people who you claim to love the most. And when I talk about this, I mean in an individual sense. When you're seeking a relationship, if you are concentrated on what you need to do to game somebody into loving you, then you're not creating a situation where people can actually love you, because the fact that you are gaming means that you are creating a virtual persona to present to someone, which means you are not truly in touch with who you are. And how can you expect somebody to love the authentic you if they are loving a game or version? Eventually it wears off. So the people that you want to attract, the energy that you want to attract comes from who you are. Are you confident? Are you loving? And regardless of whether anyone else is there, are you gentle with yourself when you look in the mirror? When you look in the mirror, do you see divine beauty shining back at you? When you look in the mirror through your so-called outward imperfections, do you say everything is all right, all is well? We said financially all is well. How about physically all is well? I'm exactly where I need to be. And I may not be perfect in my physique. There may be some places I can pinch now that I couldn't pinch 2 years ago. There may be some things that happen, some sounds I make when I bend over to pick up that quarter that I wasn't making 6 months ago. But all of this can be healed because I'm still made in the divine image and likeness of God. And as God loves me, I got the right to love my doggone self too. This is why I say, when you point to where God is, if you touch yourself, the unenlightened person would say, how dare they think they are God, but how dare you think anything otherwise? How dare you think that something about you is ugly? How dare you think that something about you is broken? Are you more powerful than the entity, than the energy, than the cosmic force that created you? Because if you are not more powerful, then that cosmic force deems you beautiful in the image and likeness of itself. So how dare you advance your ego to a point where you would tear down what God had put into the universe just because you're becoming a better version of yourself every day. This is a moment, y'all. This is a moment where you become the person that you're supposed to be by pouring in. When you deal with your children, we got some work to do. Infinity, we got some work to do. Community, we got some work to do, world, in our children. Because when we are dealing with our children, we've got to lose the practice of trying to fix trauma that we have by living through the lives of our children. We're trying to fix a negative experience we have by overburdening our children to prove that our ego can overcome. No, you fix your stuff and leave the kids out of it, because the kids have their own life to live. I know there's one person out here that needed to hear it. I don't know who it is, but somebody needed to hear that, because what we do is we harshly train our children. What we do is we set unrealistic expectations for our children because of something that happened to us in our past that we still have not gotten over. And if we had gotten over it, then we would be more kind. We would be more understanding. And even as we yet have to provide the discipline for our young people that's necessary to give them the template to be resilient and strong, we also at the same time give them the loving kindness to give them a childhood that they don't have to sit on somebody's couch for years to get over. because this thing is not a sprint, it is a marathon, and it is a relay marathon. So our job, now that we're into this legacy part, see, we went through the life, we went through the living, we went through that energy of longevity and how to make it. But now we're talking about legacy, and what do we want to leave for legacy? Let me tell you what happens. We think about setting our children up. And we talk about wealth building. We talk about making sure that they're financially literate. And all of that can go away if they meet the wrong person after you're gone. Everything that you work for, that you guilted them for, all of it can be gone in an instant if they meet the wrong person, if they make the wrong investment. All of this burden that we have put on our children. So again, for longevity, our job is to run this race in a way that is modeling what it's like to be happy in life, what it is like to walk in abundance knowing that God has us covered, what it is like to be a joyful participant, what it is like to go in with a full and open heart, what it is like to be a part of community that pours in and not just something that extracts for personal gain. We put ourselves in this position, and then we're able to hand off the torch to the next generation. Last thing, Kate Raworth, economist, says. Kate Raworth is a well-known economist, and you know, I want y'all, when y'all get done today, I want y'all to just go out and make some donuts. I want y'all to make some donuts. And Kate Raworth talks about the donut theory of economics. And really briefly, the donut theory of economics is pretty fascinating. You see an ecosystem of economics. And in the 1930s, when we talk about how do we judge growth, Kate Raworth would say, well, in the 1930s, they came up with something called GDP, gross domestic product. Somebody type that in the chat so somebody has a record of it. GDP. GDP equals growth. GDP equals growth in an economy. And so people began fixated on how much money and how much growth year after year, year over year, how many trends would determine growth. And people tend generally to think growth is good. And so we became laser focused as an economic system, as a capitalistic economic system, on this growth. And that growth is the only factor. Doesn't matter how the least of these, my brethren, are treated. Growth is the only factor. Doesn't matter if we're going to have an opportunity to survive on this planet that we're taking advantage of. Growth is the only thing that matters. So people got in this growth game as an indicator of something good. But Kate Raworth points out that as you're moving toward this donut model that she created, that she talks about in terms of balance, she said growth may be good, but when you're in the doctor's office and they tell you that you have a growth, is it good? For those of you who have been through it and had relatives who've been through it, and you know when they came in and flipped that chart and said, there's a growth here. Was it good? Growth is not always good for itself. So I want you, in this donut model, to see in your third eye in your mind. I want you to see this donut. And in the middle of this donut is a dark center. This represents what happens in the lack of resources. This means that the planet is slowly dying. This means that there's not enough food in our perceptive minds to feed people. This donut hole, this black hole in the donut, is a place of lack. It is a place where everything runs out. On the outer ring of the donut, that's the planetary system beyond this little marble that we call Earth. And in this marble that we call Earth, when we go beyond the stratosphere, there are things that we can no longer control because there is no oxygen out there. That means that when we break down this atmosphere through global warming, when all of this happens, we eat away at our atmosphere. Ultraviolet rays come down. There is cancer being caused. We are stripping the planet of resources. And so the space outside the donut is a space of oblivion where everything goes and diminishes. But she says in the economic theory, and I think it's true in the spiritual theories as well, that if we go from the place of lack and the emptiness of the donut hole, and if we move to the ring, And we don't go to a place where we strip all of our resources, but we recognize that life is about a gentle rotation of balance. That's when we're living on the ring of the donut. And that's where we want you to live today as you get ready to work and make those donuts. Because Fred the baker reached a point at the end of the commercial where many of us has felt. He went through rain, he went through sleet, and went through snow. And the last time when he was so tired that he could barely get to the door, he forgot time and space. He opened the door and got ready to say, it's time to make the donuts. And he ran into himself coming back in, reminding him, I made the donuts. Sometimes you feel like you ran into yourself because you're trapped in a cycle of doing and doing and doing. But reality tells us that we have to now put ourselves in alignment on that donut that is in between the perspective of lack and the perspective of oblivion. And when we find ourselves moving around on that donut of life, when we have made that donut of life, we find ourselves in a place where we stop doing and we instead start being. After all, we are human beings, aren't we? So are you tired of being a human doing and you're ready to be a human being? Then it's time to make the donuts. You know, when I made donuts when I was young, people said, Rev, what have you not done? I didn't officially do it. Fred the baker, there was a guy named Harold, worked at the Donut Den, historic Donut Den on Hillsborough Road next to Hillsborough High School. And sometimes I would be late at night waiting on my mom or my dad to get off work. And I lived in South Nashville, but they would sometimes pick us up because on weekends, nights, after work, with a 6th grade education and 10th grade education, they would clean white folks' houses. And they would clean them and they would help them up steps and get them ready. A debt to which I still know I owe excellence to, because they did what they needed to do to raise us. But sometimes I was left at that donut den and there was a man named Harold who would come in the night shift, and his job was to make the donuts. And Harold would take me in the back, and he got to know me enough to teach me how to make the donuts. And he would start with the proper mixture in the giant mixing bowl. And he would take that out and take the dough, and it would have to sit and it would have to rise for a particular time. And then it would have to be cut into smaller pieces, and they would put it into a funnel that would output those perfect little dough rings. And they would be very tiny, and they would go down this conveyor belt into this vat of grease that was kept at the perfect temperature. And when they dove into the grease, they expanded. And once they expanded long enough, he would take these 2 sticks that looked like chopsticks, and he would turn that donut over and over again until he could lift that donut from that hot grease and place it in a place where the icing would just shower over it. And oh, that icing looks so sweet. I just wanted at my sweet tooth. I just wanted to just put my mouth up under the nozzle and just say, just put the glaze down in me. Just give it to me, God. Just fill me with every piece of sugar I could. But when I think about that image right now as I close, I think about all that you have been through, all that you have been through that mixed you up, all of those things that came into your life and the experiences that you've had, all of those things that twisted you around. They didn't twist you around to hurt you. They twisted you around to shape you. And when you felt you were put into a machine and put through the ringer with all sorts of pain from family and friends, it was just to form you. And it formed you into something that was small, something that made you contract into a circle, something that made you roll up into the fetal position like a ball, somebody that put you in that place that made you contract yourself. And then something put you into some deep heat. But the heat is there to make you expand. And when you expand like that donut expanded in that hot grease, it came up to the rose to the top. See, that hot grease makes the dough aerate, and it raises it to the top. So all of this heat that you've been through, all of this struggle that you've been through, it's just raising you to the top. And when you raise to the top, the universe says, God says, your ancestors say, you've been here long enough. Now that you are conscious that you are meant to be something else other than a twisted piece of raw material, we're going to lift you out of this and put you on a space where the blessings of heaven can sweetly pour all over you. And some of y'all are saying right now, like I said, when I saw that sugar come down out of that cone, you say, I'm ready for my sweetness right now. I'm ready to be glazed. But I'm here to tell you that as you are ready to be glazed, that this is the moment that you have to be a part of taking the action to make the donuts. So are you ready to make the donuts today? Are you ready to go out and walk in your divine purpose, whether there is sleet, whether there is snow? Are you ready whether there is sunshine, whether there is rain? Are you ready to run into yourself sometimes and yet remind yourself? Sometimes you get to that. You've had some of them say, man, I meant to do this and I've got to do this. And then you look down and see that the night before you fell out on your bed, you actually laid out what you needed to do for yourself. And just like Fred ran into himself at the door, you said, oh, I'm so thankful to myself last night. I knew I needed this document and I couldn't even remember that I did it, but I laid it out on the table. Somebody has had that memory in that space. Are you ready to make the donuts? Are you ready to break the bad habit that you know is bad? Are you ready to embrace a practice that you know works and bears fruit and to go back to those things instead of trying to seek other experiences that would take you away from who you truly are and put you into a space where you're just headed for some retail therapy? Are you ready to get to your journal? Are you ready to put that phone down? Are you ready to take that personal time off? Are you ready to struggle with people who are also invested in passing you the baton right now? Because if you are, this is the moment that you are ready to emerge. This is the moment that you're ready to catapult yourself to the next finish line. This is the moment where you're able to say, I've fought the good fight. I've kept the faith. I've finished the course. This is your moment today. Don't miss it. Embrace it. Because the universe, your ancestors, everyone has poured into you up to this minute so you can stand and shine and be an example for those who are to come. It's time to make the donuts. So it is spoken, so it is received. And so it is. Amen and ashe. Y'all, we love you in this place. And I speak that you will give me this opportunity to speak a perm with you in this moment, to pour the energy on here to seal you. I'm not one of those, not one of those spiritual leaders, pastors, who has that big old goblet, you know, the golden goblet in the glass. I got a water jug, and I need to take a little sip from the water jug. But I want you, if you're able to stand where you are. At home, place your hand on your chest. I know some of you are driving, some of you are listening. Don't close your eyes if you're driving, but just know that vibrationally speaking, that you are in alignment with us right now. And so if you're able, go ahead and close your eyes, bow your heads, open your heart. And I want you to just spend a few moments breathing. And as you breathe in, I want you to breathe in the memory of what it's like to know that all is working in my favor. All is working in my favor. Every breath that I am taking is a testament to my presence in the right now. Every memory I have of something that I have gone through is a testament to my perseverance. Every joyful memory I have of those who love me in this world, those who trust and believe in me, is an acknowledgement of the presence of the divine. Universe God, in this moment, I speak that these memories will lift us up, will keep us flowing, will keep us in alignment with the memory of the light that exists within each and every one of us, that is now flowing and growing from our hearts. that now as we move toward the finish line together, we don't move with our heads down. We move with our chins up, looking toward the light, knowing that we are here for a purpose and a reason. And oh, how blessed it is to recognize it, to reel in it, to feel it moving through every cell of our body, to feel it raising the hairs on the back of our hands and our necks, to feel the light shooting through our toes and our fingertips, to feel it beaming from our eyes when we encounter others. We are beings of light. And we acknowledge in this place today that whatever the task is, whatever the opportunity is, whatever the portal is, whatever the doorway is, we're here for it. We're ready to make these donuts. We're ready to exist and to live on this ring of reciprocity as we move toward the end of this year. On this Sunday, in this moment, we proclaim the good. We speak the good. We embrace the good. And from this space of awareness, we know that it is beyond motivation, that it is beyond inspiration, that right now it is satisfaction at embracing true life. And this true life is abundant. And as this world is in need of the healing, we are so excited that we are the healers. May we heal through our words. Maybe we'll heal toward our work. Maybe heal toward our art. Maybe heal toward our industry. Maybe heal in our business. Maybe heal in our education. We are here to create the ring of balance. We are here to move away from lack and to move away from oblivion and to live in sustainable living. And that sustenance is love. So may this feeling persist. May this proclamation persist that we have right now. We speak transformation. We speak elevation. We speak illumination, and we speak all of these in proclamation. Let us walk through the world with a joyful light that when others ask us where we got it, we say the same place you have it, within. For these things that we wish for ourselves, we also wish and proclaim them for others who encounter us. And we boldly go forth recommitted to doing what needs to be done, doing it joyfully, doing it with the spirit of reciprocity, crossing the finish line. So it is spoken, so it is received, and so it is. Inhale and exhale. One more inhale of confidence, one more exhale of doubt. And proclaim with me together, and so it is. Amen. Amen. Hotep. Shalom. Namaste. Aho. Asheo. We're in the place right now. I don't have a voice, but I got a heart. And I'm so happy that I got a heart. I don't know the words. Lovely song, but we don't have to say if only. We got the heart today. Y'all listen. I'm going to do this. We're going to speak our pronouncement today. We're actually going to sing a little bit. And Lady Kanitha, I'm so glad that I got you here. Tech Crew, Alicia Kai, Tony, we're glad to have y'all here today. Infinite Life streamers, listen. We got people streaming in from all over the world. I see you're on there. Listen, whatever platform you're on, I want you to pick a stranger. See somebody's name, get their first name, hit the @ sign and just @ them and speak and proclaim something good over them. Spread the love to a stranger. Just somebody in the chat, y'all go ahead while we're singing this song, while you're humming it. Go ahead and start blessing somebody in the chat. If you're new to Infinity, dive in. This is how we do every single Sunday. We bless and proclaim in the chat that all is well for somebody, particularly somebody we don't know. And when somebody does it, send some affirmation their way. This gratitude chain is here to keep people through this week where you may not always get an opportunity to run into this kind of energy, but that's why we're here. And if Infinity is a place where you feel that you would vibrate well, just keep watching. Share this broadcast service. Join us in person on First Sunday. Fill out that visitors form. Come and be a part. We're here so that this rising tide can lift every boat that sits in the harbor. We'll put the words up and we invite you to sing our outro song with us. And the words have meaning. If today's a brighter day and we are on our way, then we can begin to heal ourselves again. Oh, we remember yesterday, and yet today's the day. God's reminding me to look at you and see. Family. Come on, let's sing. Let's overlay that chat. I want to see this good coming with people. If today's a brighter day and we are on a day, then we can begin to heal ourselves again. Oh, we remember yesterday, and yet today is the day. God's reminding me to look at you and see family. Yeah, say God's reminding me. God's reminding me to look at you and see family. God's reminding me. God's reminding me to look at you and see family. As these blessings continue to come through in this column over here on my right, we speak that the love of God, the wisdom of the ancestors, and the infinite and abundant power of the universe rest, rule, and rock with us henceforth, now and forevermore. Let us sing together. Amen, amen. Hotep shalom, namaste, ashe. We love y'all. On behalf of Lady Kenitha, the whole crew here at Infinity Fellowship, this is Reverend Jeff Obafemi-Carr. We love you guys. We'll see you next time. Go ahead and shower some love over here. Shower some love on somebody and see what happens. Say hello, say goodbye. We'll see y'all, and we'll see many of y'all Wednesday night. Love and light. We love you, and that's a fact you cannot change. Peace. Y'all have an awesome week. Make those donuts. Make those donuts.